Today we'll talk about an important member of exec family, something called as execl. So we talked about execl, okay, which replaces a process. Then we talked about execlp, replaces a process and searches in path. Now let us go one step deeper and we learn how to replace a process as well as also control its environment variable. So that is what this execl does. Let me start with the most important idea here. Execl replaces the current process image and permits us to explicitly define the environment variables for the new program. And this is the key difference here. Other exec functions inherit the current environment automatically. And execl allows us to specifically add a custom environment. Now here, like if I see this execl as a name, after exec, L means we know that it is arguments that are passed as a list, and E here means an environment which is explicitly provided as. So unlike execl, as I stated, this function includes an additional parameter for environment variables. Like one can see here, like in the syntax, correct? Right now. So like every process in Linux runs with environment variables, like for example, path, home, user, lag. So if we want to see the variables, one can just write env. So you should get this. Like for example, you can see here path, which is environment variable. Similarly, you can see home above. Correct, somewhere home would be there. Yeah, home. Then username. Correct, like all these things would be added. So we got these variables listed using env as a command that we applied here, env. Correct, the way that we wrote env. These variables will affect how your program should behave. Correct, for example, path would be determining where executables are to be searched. Home would be affecting the user related behavior. Normally when we use exec functions, the new program inherits the same environment. But sometimes, suppose if we want to remove unnecessary variables, we want to add some custom variables as well, we want to test program behavior under different settings, and probably we may also wish to run the program in restricted configuration. So that time this execl is becomes one of the most important function, or usefulness of it increases. So if I see the syntax here, you can see like there is path which is added, which is to be added by us, then argument list, correct, ending with null, correct, and towards the end envp. Correct, envp is environment array. The environment array comes after the null and that ends the argument list. Correct, this envp would be after this null. We have to remember this. Let us first write a simple program. Okay, let us write emax exe dot c. Now here we will include stdio.h hash include unistd.h in the main. Correct, here we will declare an empty environment variable envvp. Okay, env we can write. Correct, then we'll write a print function, printf, before call to execle function slash n bracket complete. Okay, and then we will give call to execle, and we want to call say slash bin slash ls. Correct, now like what will happen here, we will write here ls, then comma dash l, comma null, comma we have to write this env now as a parameter there. Correct, the fourth parameter after like null. Fine, and then we know like it is not going to print anyway whatever we write here after. After call function, then return 0. Fine. So so we wrote this code. Now let us save this and let us compile. So gcc exe cle dot c dash m32, correct, and we execute this. So we got this one, correct. Let us see like why our ls dash l never got executed. So there must be some error that we added here, okay, with respect to the code. Let us check what happens, because we haven't provided anything for null. So we will add here one function. Like, what would be the error? Failed. So because we haven't provided a value to environment variable, let us see what it shows. Fine. So let us compile. Let us execute. So you will see that execl failed bad address. So let us change it, because like it is important to write that it is null. We have to write this as an array, and then we'll write here null, correct. And let us check. Now our code should get executed. Gcc a dot out. Now if you see here, like what I did was I added env variable, correct. But for env variable I haven't passed any value. So earlier, what are the code that I wrote, I haven't passed any value there, and that's why we saw this execl failed error, correct. Then this needs to be added as an string array of string, because environment parameters are there. Environment variables are to be added along with the value, and I am providing null over here, correct. Now instead of null, let us add our custom environment variables. So let us save this execle. Let us add custom.c. Now here, instead of null, what I will be doing is I will be adding my own environment variables here, correct. Let us check this. So let us first add, say, my var, correct. So my var would be one variable that we are going to add. So what we'll do is, now we will add our own environment variables. So let us write my var is equal to, and then we'll write, say, for example, ca552, correct. This is what we want to display, comma, second variable, say for example path. So let us write here bin, sorry, we have to write slash bin, then colon, then slash usr slash bin. So we want to display these values for our path. And now to print this, like this is where my I'm ending this. Okay, so last we have to add, because whenever we wish to use like we want to finish the list, just add null there, correct, as the last element, and then explicitly uh, curly bracket and then semicolon, correct. You can add this. This is how you actually passed the environment values. So this is first value, this is second value that we added, and this is like we want to end it, that's why we added null. Now instead of this ls, like what I will do is I will write there uh, slash usr slash bin. There's a function called print env, correct, and we will use that over here to call print env, right. This is a standard function provided as a utility. And then like we have added p error, like if there is error then it should display this error, otherwise it will execute. So you will see here what the program would be doing. Program would be printing before execle, then execle will replace the current process using print env, and print env will run only those variables which we defined over here, correct. So let us save and see this, how exactly it works. So let us dash l are, so our function is custom, correct? So gcc dash m32 execle underscore custom.c, correct? And now let us execute this. You will see like it printed both the values which we added there. Now if I refer to print env function, correct? This is utility available user command prints all are part of environment. So whatever values that we have specified there, this output is shown to us like my var equal to ca552 and this, correct? And if it could have like I could have added there that the standard variable, correct? So it could have showed me the output that way directly, correct? Now what I did here, like I added uh, the variable explicitly by providing my own things. So let me change it. So cp execle custom.c, okay, execle underscore custom, we will get default.c. So we'll edit this emax execle underscore default.c. And what I will do is I will use an external variable. So instead of this, I will comment this. I will use standard variable which is available here. So extern char star in, correct? So what we will do now, we'll change it as we are taking one environment variable, and we will just replace it here and we run, correct? Let us see what is happening. Let us compile gcc default.c, execute. So you will see all other variables are displayed here. So here I am passing what I passed was environ environ, okay, which replaces current environment. And this like one can see earlier when we wrote this code, correct, with default, okay, like for example with custom. So let me compile this. You can see what is the output that is shown. So what are the environment variables that we gave, those values are printed. And when we want to take default ones by adding that environment variable, okay, you should see all remaining things are shown. So like let me show you the clear difference. Custom.c. You can see the difference here. Like here we added this standard variable environ, correct? And in other case, like in other program, we defined our own environment variable. So this is the difference between them. Now let us do one thing. So what we'll do is we'll make use of execle now with the fork function, correct? So let us try doing this. So Control XS, Control XC. We'll write emax execle with fork. Correct. Now how exactly this is done? So we are using combination. So hash include stdio.h hash include unistd.h. Then as we want to make use of fork call, so we'll include slash sys slash types.h, correct? Then int main, let us declare variable pid underscore t pid to hold pid, and here for pid we will give call to fork function, correct? Now like let us say if pid is equal to 0, Then we'll declare here environment variable, our own environment variable, char star env square bracket. This would be local to that process. That's why we're writing this. So let us say we will change some of the variables. Let mode equal to safe, correct, comma, path is equal to say slash bin colon slash usr slash bin, correct. And we know we have to end with null as a third parameter, correct. And then specifically write curly bracket here with semicolon. Fine. Then here, like after this, because we declared this env variable, correct, env is declared by us here, so we have to give now call to execle. We want to execute the same function, okay, which was we print env slash usr slash bin slash print env, correct. Then the parameters arguments print env, then null, and lastly our environment variable list. Now if this doesn't work, then it should print an error using p error, like we already saw this, execle failed, correct. Now else let us print printf, like we'll write here parent process. So here before this, what we'll do is we'll just add a scanf or getchar to just check whether the processes are added there ultimately as a child. Getchar, in both we are going to call that, so return 0. Hopefully there is no error. Now let us save, let us compile. GCC -m32 execle fork.c. Okay, so I think I made a mistake. I added slash there, so let us compare. Correct this. I added slash here, so instead this should not be there. Compile, so our code got executed. So let us execute this. So it is working, waiting for input. So I will open one more terminal and let us check ps-ejh. You can see this a.out is there. Right now, if I give character, let us check, correct. Let me press enter. Now what is happening? One of the process already gone. So 30 was gone, 31 is still remaining here. Correct. And even I press character, the parameters are shown here. So you will be able to see that the print can be executed there. So parent got exactly its original environment and child runs in custom environment. Correct. So both the processes are working differently, and that this demonstrates how environment isolation is different. Correct. So like if in parent I could have called that print env, then it should have showed me something different. Correct. So let us understand when should we use execle. Let us revise this. Whenever you need complete control over the environment variables, it is always good to make use of execle. If you want to modify or restrict execution settings, then you should make use of this. Further, like when you are writing secure or controlled system applications, it is always better. Fine. So this is very important. And like let me summarize this whole thing. We talked about execl earlier, which replaces program. CLP execlp replaces program and searches in path, and execle replaces the program and allows custom environment, replacing the program and redefining the environment. Correct? And this is what this execl